Very, very interesting ban-outs here, but they have left that Terrorblade alone for mid one if he wants to go down that route. All fairness, we haven't seen mid one play the safe lane Terrorblade very much, I want to say. So it's kind of, I'm sure the man plays it very well, but again, we haven't seen it very often from him. So it's hard to know exactly how well he can perform on that hero. Still, SMG, it's their choice whether they want to go down that route. They might have another hero that they feel more comfortable on running into that Luna. For now, SMG, they're probably going to go for another support pickup here. It should be the 4 Nyx Assassin. Rogi, he'll get the 5 Lion, I believe, here on the safe lane of SMG. So a lot of control already. You got the double stuns with the support duo, the Impel and the Earth Spike. Always very confusing to call in the middle of a team fight when both of them are flying out. Fnatic, they're going to go into the 4th pick. Well, why not? I mean, Jabs had a great game last game on that Rubik. So many good spells to steal this game already. I don't see a problem with it. I think the Rubik's a great pickup here.
Yeah, it's going to be really impactful. All the spells from every hero is actually super good on the Rubik. So that's something SMG will have to watch out for. They're always going to have to drop a spell, right? Like, you can't ensure that your line gets this Earth Spike Hex combo and immediately gets the mana drain off so the Rubik can't steal. Yeah. You can't guarantee all of that. Just won't slip away. So the Rubik has tons of value. I think for SMG, just looking at the strengths, you mentioned a double stun. This is pretty much a double Ravage here, right? Vac, Wall, plus Earth Spike, plus Impale. Lots of good AoE control with this combination on SMG. It does feel like they kind of go all in on that aspect. They don't really have, say, a saving support in the hand here. They're going to have to rely on the Ags on the Darkseer to have some form of burst healing with the Ion Shell HP. Beyond that, nothing like the Abaddon, no room for that. They do go into the Lifestealer here for SMG, so they've got this big, tanky front line that can just hold its own. Has natural spell immunity, so the Luna, the Ench, the Pango, the Rubik, it's not going to feel too annoying for the Lifestealer in some of these fights. And it does give them an option to kind of heal up a big core in the middle. Like, the Infest saves are really the big aspect of Lifestealer that has come to the front very recently. Like, we've just seen so many big plays saving that spell to bail out your other core and stall out the fight that you just win by attrition. So we'll see if SMG can get that done. I think with this kind of lineup, there is a lot of room on your mid lane here for SMG in particular to have something greedier for Moon, so he doesn't need to take this more active role. We'll see if they'll take that spot. Like, the Spirit Brothers are still on hand if they want to go that route. I guess if they want the active position, Bounty Hunter can kind of line up. I mean, Bounty Hunter plus Ion Shell plus an Infested Lifestealer is pretty strong and can snowball fast, but it also tapers off really quick. So I'm not quite sure where SMG wants to go. Probably just looking for something that scales better for Moon here.
What do you think about, like, the mid laner or something? Like, just very safe. We've seen it multiple times. Can carry the game in the later stages with the Daedalus pickup. See them maybe going down that kind of safer route. Like, it's not... I don't want to say it's really active because it does lack a lot of mobility, but it does feel like once you get the Boots Travel up, once you get a Yule Scepter going, you are running around like a madman, and you have a lot of spell damage, you have a lot of control, and again, the scalability into the late game is quite nice. Doesn't seem like it'd be too bad of a pick considering you don't know what Chuen is going to get on the other side.
Yeah, it could line up here for SMG. It still plays really nice with that VAC combination. VAC, LSA, but all the control. It's a ton of control. And even down the line, like, we don't see it too often now, but the Ag Shard plus all of that AoE, just one Laguna into a straight line. Oof, that's tasty if we could see that come out.
We're going to get the Ember, though. The Moon Ember flies out here for SMG, and I guess that kind of goes back to that active mid laner you wanted to see here from SMG. We know that Moon Ember, very, very good in its own right. Fnatic, though, how are you going to respond now? Like, you can see the Ember right there. Do you want to go for the Chuen laner?
Yeah, it could still line up. Good damage coming out. Benefits greatly from Luna Aura as well, right? With the added damage, if you're running together, you get Fiery Soul up. It doesn't feel like you'll need too much more items to actually get running there if you want the Lina. You could also go for, I suppose, the Void Spirit once more if you just want a Spirit Brother matchup to get some more activity here for Chuen. He was doing a good job of holding back the backline, and I think that's maybe something Fnatic could use. Some follow-up to the Pangolier. Like, the Pango can just jump in. We saw Death do it last game. Roll around once the Blink's up. Very easy to reposition. He needs a hero to kind of play with him on the same page. And the Lina can do that to an extent, but we don't tend to see, say, Blink Linas too often, so it can be hard to reposition yourself to reach into those softer backline heroes. It could still work out. They go with the Doom instead, so they've got the mid Doom on hand. They've got really good control for the Ember, potentially even the Life Stealer as well. We tend to see, say, a build up into the refresh down the line. The one issue I have with Doom is it can be slower to play. Like, you just play with Devour, you will have a stable lane, you will build farm, but the tendency is to go into Midas. Maybe you get 1 or 2 early uses of Doom. You will, in general, just farm up, wait for the Blink to come up, wait for more items to be up, and that can maybe interfere with the Luna farm. We haven't seen that really be an issue, but if SMG is more active here, that map space will shrink, and it might be awkward to share farm between Chuen and Raven this game.
No, I absolutely agree on that. I think SMG, their draft, it's very susceptible to this Doom this game, right? Like, even the Lifestealer, just dooming him up. Without items, he just doesn't feel very good. He could try to hit you, but it's just not as much damage, not as much utility. And of course, against the Ember, against the Darkseer, it's just that much worse to play into the Doom. Mind you, you can only Doom once until you get the Refresher shard up, or the Refresher just in general up on Chuen. So John, I'll ask you the hard question. Game 2... Obviously, you and I, we'd love to see a Game 3, but Fnatic, I'm sure, just want a 2-0 victory so they could try to move into the Grand Final. Do you think SMG's draft is good enough here to pull off this victory and force it to Game 3, or are we going to a quick Grand Final between Fnatic and GXR?
I think SMG, if they play fast, can really shut down the map quicker. They've got these early spikes out with the Darkseer, with the Ember Spirit that they can play with. The wall's going to be really annoying against Raven. He might have to opt for an earlier BKB here if he wants to join these early fights. And again, that farm split up between Luna and Doom can feel a bit awkward. You've got longer cooldowns to worry about on Fnatic. SMG doesn't have as long on their big cores, so they can be much more active. I still feel overall Fnatic's draft is the safer bet, just because their win condition with the Luna scales a lot better than the Lifestealer. And for SMG, it feels like it's going to have to shift towards Moon more than mid 1 as the game goes late. And the Ember's going to really have to pick up that weight here.
Okay, let's get into it. Game number 2 between Fnatic and Team SMG. So again, SMG 1 game away from being knocked out of the Loopet Pro Series 7. Well, they're 1 game away from forcing it to a Game 3, but Fnatic 1 game away from making it through to the Grand Final of the Loopet Pro Series 7, and they can go ahead and get their kind of revenge match against GXR if they can win out this game. It's not going to be that easy, though. Of course, SMG bringing out a completely different draft now, looking to try and maybe spook the side of Fnatic and catch them with their pants down. SMG, they're doing that classic group up in the mid lane and see if anyone from Fnatic wants to run down to the low ground. It's like Fnatic are not going to oblige, though. They'll wait it out, and we'll see if there's any kind of level 1 team fights. But that's kind of been lacking a little bit. I don't think they should go for a level 1 team fight on either side, but you never know. A lot on the line here, they might just run at each other.
It feels a lot better for SMG. Earthspike plus Impale, double stun with an Iron Shell can get dicey for Fnatic if they're not careful. So I think it's actually better for SMG if someone runs up. They're probably going to win out there, maybe force some early spells, and ideally, like, say, an early Nature's Attendance from DJ just to sustain. Let's see if they do fully commit.
They are now. DJ, a quick spear out, no impetus either. Saving that skill point, and it looks like SMG, they're going to be able to get away with 3 here. So Fnatic unable to try and sneak another, so it's going to be a 3-for-1 trade. A great start here for SMG. And Fnatic, they definitely weren't too confident running into SMG at this level 1 mark. I suppose it goes back to what you said. There's just so many stuns available on SMG. You don't really want to risk going into that big team fight. Instead, they'll go back to their respective lanes, and you will have Raven and DJ in the safe lane against KP and Arfu. We talked about this lane earlier in the draft, John, but refresh us. Do you think that KP and Arfu have the advantage, or would you believe that Raven and DJ should be alright here?
They're going to be alright in terms of at least getting a steady source of farm. Saw KP already just spam 3 Iron Shells on the creep wave, just trying to burn through early on. And Raven, it's a bit tough. He doesn't have the greatest range as a ranged hero here, and Afu's doing the right thing, pulling the wave. It's just he's dropping too low here.
Yeah, he hasn't got Spy Carapace either. Raven, he'd love the first blood gold, but DJ's the one that's going to take it. I suppose it does go back to the drafting stage, right? Like, it's not easy to go against an Enchantress. Always very difficult. You can always have the Lucent Beam spam there from Raven as well. just for that added damage. And where you can already see KP, he just wants to secure a farm. He's not too interested in kills right now. He understands the safest place to get the levels up first, and then think about going for the kills.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a much more passive lane coming out overall for the side of Fnatic. It's down to SMG to hit that level 3 spike. So we'll see how long it takes for KP to get that level 2 Iron Shell up. It's just trying to be as disruptive as possible, but Raven, again, off to a pretty good start. A bit slower in the CS than you'd expect, but this should escalate, and you can see KP, he is just forced to pull the wave while he can.
Also over in the mid lane as well, you've got Moon there against Chuan, and right now Chuan's doing a great job of just harassing Moon out on that Ember. So that mid Doom, he does hit quite hard early on, and of course with the Scorched Earth, he can kind of just run you down. And while that's happening top lane, Jabs and Rogi both end up dropping. Jabs able to secure the kill before he does drop, however. So definitely favorable for Fnatic. However, mid one, he is providing a lot of harass back the way of Death. It's not really going to be much more than enough to really force him out. Death, he's got a set of tangos there. He should be just fine. Mid one though, gonna move in again with Rogi now with the Earth Spike, but Death, we actually used the Swashbuckle already. The Hex is out, Rogi, he's caught him, and Death. Oh, he's gonna drop. Very nice Hex timing there from Rogi. Jabs is unable to do much, and Death will get the sticker out. His mid one will back off now with Rogi, getting a bit of harassment there onto Jabs.
Really good kills coming out, and this is where, you know, having these stun supports really helps the cause. Level 1 Swash, cooldown's fairly long. Mid 1, he's always protected with a Rage on hand. So he's not going to feel too bad, and when he does go for the right-click trade, he can lifesteal a lot better. Even though right now level 1 is not the most sustain for lifestealer, still feels good enough to just hold the lane, keep farming despite the lack of regen. Great start so far for the lifestealer. You do have to worry about how much CS you miss out on. You can see mid 1 sitting at 8-2. In that sense, Det is doing his job. Raven will always out CS him. He will always do better in the jungle. And that's the one aspect of Lifestealer versus Luna that doesn't feel great for Lifestealer. You just can't really keep up with that flash farm even in the jungle.
Absolutely not. It is much more determined on whether he's willing to fight with the team or not, that's for sure. Moon and Chuan again going at it. Now Moon ahead in terms of CS, so he has managed to catch up quite nicely here on this Ember. Chuan, or rather Chuan, is he's just devouring. You know, it's a Doom after all. He's always going to be able to pull ahead in terms of the net worth. Still, they are evening out very nicely. Moon, we've seen him on this Ember quite a few times, and he's just quite fantastic on the hero. Nice little rotation in from Arfu as well. He does manage to deny the other water rune away from Chuan. DJ, he's going to find Arfu now. Might even be able to snipe the courier. Chase him down with the shockwave out with that Satyr Tormentor. Again, Arfu, level 2, but still can't really do much on the Nyx Assassin. Still can't really try and abuse DJ or Raven. At least does get the Spike Carapace out in time to return that damage back the way of DJ, but it wasn't really that high anyway.
And this is where, you know, you can see DJ really maximizing that Enchantress, getting a nice creep on hand, the Hadouken creep with the HP regen aura, so you've got a lot more sustain to play with. Fu, he just can't do as much with his duo. We're not seeing them tank up and go forward. The aggression's just not quite lining up there for KP just yet.
It certainly isn't. Raven 28-8 right now on this Luna. Treads up. Gonna feel a lot safer with those. KP, you just see it. Every time he tries to get even remotely close to Raven, he's gonna be chased down. DJ could not get the enchant off. However, Raven is still getting plenty of vision. Arfu's gonna move in, gets a nice impale, but he'll be enchanted up, and they'll just wait out the Carapace timing. In fact, DJ will actually take the kill himself. I don't think that was quite on purpose. I think he wanted to just get one more hit to allow Raven the last hit. Regardless, though, they are able to get the kill, and they will even force KP back towards the fountain.
And you're really seeing that difference between pause 1 start to line up. Raven, 32-10, mid 1, 19-5. They are also matching their offlaners, which is good news for the offlanes, but it does feel in this kind of trade, Fnatic is winning out. They're just getting that early start in Luna. Their Doom is still finding farm mid. He's not bullied out. He's still able to play with Devour. And you will hit this mid-game spike once certain items are up for both of these heroes. SMG, oh, Moon.
Oh, Chuan, he wanted that Doom out. Not sure if it was completely pump faking, because I don't think they would have quite had the damage anyway. Quick tip out to Moon. He was right with the Remnant anyway. It was top rune where the power rune did spawn up. Now Jabs, he's actually going to run right into him. Rogi was there just waiting on the high ground, and Jabs may have just assumed they weren't sitting in the triangle, but Moon does go back for the extra bounty, and he does get away with it.
Great pickup here for SMG. Moon, that's going to help him accelerate into the phase boots. So he's going to hit that timing on the Ember. Phase boots, Orb of Corrosion, and that's when you can really rip into these heroes once the higher levels of Sleight of Fist are up. So he can take an active position on this Ember very, very shortly. Once that damage is added on, the question is what lane to go to. You see KP? Oh, KP.
Yeah, Doom is out. Chuen not playing around as now the enchant is there into the stomp. They'll have plenty of damage. Even though there are illusions, they aren't going to prove to be enough. This Chuen, he had the Scorched Earth anyway, so he could definitely just chase him down infinitely as that Doom was going. Top lane, meanwhile, they are going to try and make the play onto Jabs here as Moon has rotated and will remnant in quite deep with the disarm. And another disarm is there from Death. He will not allow the damage to fly out, and now Moon, he is taking tier 1 tower damage, still trying to get Jabs. He will get him in the end, but it's not worth his life. Can he get out? Not quite. Death. He's on the mark with the swash. And in all fairness to Moon, that was very unlucky. He copped 2 disarms in a row. And that's just something you don't expect going into that top lane.
You gotta respect the skill shot there on Death, and now off Fu down mid. Bit of a chase.
Yeah, Enchant is there. Impel does land nicely. Gets close enough to the tier 2 tower where he'll have the savior there in Rogi. 5-4. Very slight net worth lead the way of Fnatic. We have seen this story before though. In fact, we just saw it last game. Raven, he's still having a very free lane. And it's about time he starts moving into that jungle now. With all the stats he does have, almost has the Dragonlance up. You've got to be very careful as SMG to not allow the repeat to happen in game 2.
It's just a really smooth start for Raven. He doesn't have as many stacks, although pressure on mid.
But there is. Got Chuen there on the Doom. Nice pickup, or maybe not. Rogi's still in danger, but the Remnants are out. Moon, he'll make sure they secure the Doom kill. Very nice pick off and rotation from those supports. However, bottom lane KP in trouble. Look at the body blocks out. DJ doing a great job with that Dark Troll Summoner. That'll be his 3rd kill of the game already on this Enchantress. Raven not quite getting any of them, actually sitting on 4 assists, but Raven's more than happy as long as he's hitting creep, so he won't mind that.
You're still building up anyway. You're number 2, sharing number 1 in that word with your Doom. So you are building up, you're matching someone with natural gold gain with the Devour, and you're in a pretty good spot. Not a massive lead. SMG still within the batting range here. Your Life Stealer is actually only 400 gold behind, which is really good for mid 1 considering he can't clear creep waves as fast. And Moon, he's got the phase boots up, Orb of Corrosion ready, probably just waiting for maybe a couple more small item pickups before looking for the rotations. They will have to start thinking about them soon. SMG, they're clumping up bot, but so is Fnatic.
It'll be a pretty big team fight here between these two. Raven, of course, is the main target. Arfu's going to move in with the Vendetta and the Impel with the Iron Shell. They're going to have more than enough. They are still chasing KP down, but whether he goes down or not really doesn't matter because it's a great trade there for SMG. They might try to save KP in time, but Death does manage to get it with DJ. Mid 1, he has rotated on the Lifestealer. They might be able to, but no, Death. A great swashbuckle out. Should be just fine to get himself out. But again, you got a decent trade there between Raven and KP, and that's all that's going to matter here for SMG.
It's a great way of slowing down Raven's farm. We talked about that from game 1 where he had 2 free of a lane. So now there's some pressure coming in, and his triangle again isn't as stacked up as it once was. So his pacing's going to be a lot slower in the flash farm, even with that farm advantage over a Lifestealer and clearing out camps. If you don't have many big camps, it's not going to feel amazing. So SMG, they get to line up for that bot tier 1 push. The side of Fnatic, kind of pressuring up top. DJ Jabs just looking to shove in that creep wave a bit. They're going to need a core to really help them get some damage off. Chuen is around the area. TPs are coming in though. So it looks like they're not willing to give it for free. And of course, Ember Spirit, Moon can just clear out fairly safely here.
And that he will. They've still got that Sage creep going, which is what really matters here. But Moon is going to be able to at least get rid of that creep wave. And eventually the siege creep will fall. They do glyph it up to buy a bit more time, and of course mid 1 is still slowly pushing away at the bot tier 1 tower, but unlike Fnatic, mid 1 is going to be able to take. Nobody around to defend here from Fnatic, so it is going to be another positive trade going the way of SMG. I suppose for Fnatic right now, just not feeling 100% confident to move into SMG to go for a big team fight. They may gather again at that top lane and try to continue the force in of that tier 1 tower, but you look at every creep wave that's flying in, Moon just takes care of it with the flame guard. They just can't get through.
Yep, it's just doing a great job by himself to prevent that push. It's buying a ton of space for SMG to farm up in their other heroes. Afu, he is vendetted up. There is a smoke here from Fnatic. If he could be in the right spot, he could break it.
He's just about to run into them. He will narrowly avoid as they are looking at death in the mid lane. KP, let's go for the surge. Swashbuckle committed. Rolling Thunder's out. Death, he's going to go right into the back lines of Fnatic. They have caught them red-handed. Hand in cookie jar. SMG going to lose 2 supports as Death. He's not even going to bother trying to stun KP. He sees mid 1 and will try to move away from the lifestealer. But they've already got a great trade. 2 supports for nothing. All it cost them was a Rolling Thunder in the end.
Great kills to get. Not quite the big kills you'd want, but that does give you enough room to look to apply some more pressure on the map and protect your Luna. Raven gets back to farming, has the Dragon Lance up into the Yasha, not too far off. The spikes here for our Lifestealer are pretty on point though. Mid 1 is only about 200 gold behind this time, and again, that's considering Lifestealer can't farm as much as Luna can. So you're not quite getting that advantage yet for Fnatic. SMG's doing a great job in just keeping up and maintaining map control with their towers up, with their Ember Spirit to defend. And as long as it kind of holds steady like this, you're pretty happy on SMG's part. You do worry about the eventual build-up, like Chuen is still an issue. He's got the Midas, he's just been allowed to really free farm on the Doom. BKB not too far off. And once you've got that Doom BKB, he can just stand there, tank up for the team, and start to really seek out those big Doom targets.
I love the fact that Chuen's even got the other chain lightning going on that Doom. Like, he's got a bit of wave clear now on this Doom, and it's just kind of cute to see. I don't think he has the greatest mana pool for it, but then again, it's only 50 mana as bot lane Death does end up getting caught out there by Arfu and KP. That's a pretty nice pick-off for SMG. They're not really going to find much more, but it does seem like KP, he's getting very close to the Aghanim Scepter now. And things are going to start to escalate quite a bit once you do have that Ags up. SMG, they're going to even try to force in that mid-tier 1 tower now. Fnatic, they're not really around to defend yet. Of course, they don't want to allow this to go down, so they are slowly moving their way in. But mid 1 is rather confidently hitting that mid-tier 1 tower with no repercussions as of yet. Jab's getting a lot of information, though, with this Vendetta. That is not the real Moon, however. A nice fade out from our Ember, and now they're going to find the real target they wanted. They got the Rubik, but they won't be able to commit all the way. You still have Death around Moon, just trying to chip at the Rubik HP pool. Even Raven now going to show up on the Luna, and Moon again will scout this out and immediately back off. So they force the whole side of Fnatic to rotate mid, and they won't really get anything out of it.
Yeah, I mean, the tower still stands, which I guess in the end is all Fnatic really want, just prevent that push from coming out. But it's time where they're not farming efficiently on Chuen, time where Raven's not really able to just get free control of the lane as well. And that is giving more breathing room here for SMG. Right, like they are doing a great job of stalling out for the Ags on KP, 200 gold away. So that's the big spike. Iron Shell on an Ember, plus 300 HP with a burn from Flame Guard. It's a lot of damage, although...
Yeah, top lane, fingers out. They've got DJ, and eventually they'll be able to get through him. It's easy pick up there for SMG. Unfortunately for Rogi, he didn't quite get the finger charge, but... Well, bot lane now, Arfu's going to be chased down. Spy Carapace, though, is going to allow him the time to get out, and they just could not get any form of disable in time. Very unfortunate there for Fnatic, but great news for SMG. And now these timings, John. Aghanim Scepter up on KP, Maelstrom available on Moon. It is about time they try to force in that mid-tier 1 again.
They've got the damage, they've got some form of sustain with the Iron Shell HP. And they're just even applying pressure onto Raven. Just the presence of mid 1 causes Raven to kind of pull back. Again, he's just not farming as freely as he'd want. Can he find him here, though?
Have to be a blind impel from our Fu, and it's not going to come out. Rolling Thunder, Death, going to commit it, has the blink, will catch out KP on the Darkseer. Again with that Axe, he is going to be a little bit tankier, but they definitely want to try and burst him down. Still, he is tanking through it as they get another Iron Shell out on mid one now. And Death, he's going to have to swash away. Meanwhile, Chuen does move in, and now the Eclipse is out. They'll at least get our Fu. To start, they'll lose that top tier 1, and now mid one will just rush forward with the rest of his team. Hex is there, they've got Chuen now, and very nice wall being dropped by KP. Does even catch Raven. They'll take the Chuen kill on that Doom, and that's going to be enough for SMG. Back to the farming game for them.
Their fights are lining up here in SMG. They've got the superior control, they've got the jump capability with their Ember. Fnatic, they can't quite reach it to the back outside of just Rolling Thunder. And again, there's nothing to follow through. Maybe once you get this blink timing on Chuen, it starts to feel a lot nicer. You can just look to blink in, Doom up Moon, and you run from there, or just Doom up KP. Either one's actually a pretty good target. Issue is they have to wait more. Fnatic's draft just a bit slower on their spikes in items and levels, and SMG's just doing a good job of abusing that. Like, they're just so active with the Ember online like this. Even mid one can just show up, do a ton of damage on the life stealer. Sanj and Yasha almost fully done, and those stats are just maybe a bit too much to handle.
Oh, Raven! They have caught out the Luna. Raven, he's going to drop Chuen. He's going to move in with the Doom out onto KP, and the Rolling Thunder's also there from Death. They'll try to punish back. Now they've got Moon as well. This could be well worth it if they can get this kill, and they've got him. Alright, so you lost Raven, but you got the mid and the off lane of SMG, and now even an ensnare out on Rogi, they've got a third target. He'll get a Hex out onto Death, but it is not going to be enough. A 3-for-1 trade. Yes, you got that carry Luna, but you gave a lot away for that. And Jabs, he'll give the tip over to Raven. Nice bait, Raven. Well done, sir.
That should help.
I mean, you'd still not want to bait with your pause one, but, you know, if it does shape up that way, you might as well give him a tip. Make him feel better about dying, because he's going to be whinging at you all day. Still, for SMG, the good news is that mid one is out farming the Luna for now, and you can see mid one's damage on Chuen is actually pretty good. So the life stealer is at the point where he can rip through some of these heroes. He's got a lot of sustain. SMG just need to kind of play as a team, and now they know Doom is down. So they don't have to worry about that big spell for a minute 20. That makes it easier to actually start lining up for some of these ganks once more.
Oh, absolutely. Happy days right now for SMGs. They're going to move themselves into that mid lane. No, they'll go back up top. He's controlling that triangle. DJ, he's going to TP out at the exact right time. They've still got Death up there, but he's going to blink, he's going to TP, and he should be just fine as well. Fnatic, they're not even going to bother chasing him down anyway. His Death looks like he will go for an extra creep wave, as he does now see them in the mid lane. Mid one, though, with this armlet S&Y up, he's feeling rather confident to just move in. They'll lift him up, but he's a tanky boy now. Chains out from mid one, not gonna, rather Moon, not gonna land. Fnatic.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But they've got to try and defend this mid lane. Thing is, they really haven't got anywhere near their power spikes yet with this draft. So they are just trying to play the delay game here against SMG. But they can't do that for much longer if their objectives keep getting taken down like this.
They've really got to be able to kind of juggle how far they're willing to go for the defense and how far they're willing to sacrifice for those objectives. They will smoke up, trying to force a fight outside. If they catch one, big one, mid one.
Yeah, mid one, he's going to get caught. Lift is there. Chuen immediately going to throw the Doom out. The help is coming in, but the Rolling Thunder's there from Death. And now mid one is very low. In fact, he's going to burn out. They'll even find KP on the Darkseer. And Arfu is going to try and survive somehow, but there's just no chance. And Fnatic, I mean, I just said they weren't within their power spike, but as long as Doom's up, they feel confident enough to go for a smoke, and they find another good team fight.
And that's the one spot where SMG's maybe not hitting their mark just right. They knew Doom was down for a long time. They couldn't rotate out. They couldn't find the targets. And it's down to Fnatic playing really well. They just split up. They work the lanes as far as possible. They've got the good vision to play with to ensure that the greedy play isn't punished. And if SMG can't catch you while Doom is down, then you're still kind of winning out. You've still got the Luna farming. She's within 500 gold of that Lifestealer, so it's not too bad for Raven. He's still hitting some good farming spikes. Moon, still lagging behind even Raven now, and severely behind Chuwen with the Devour Midas, as you'd expect. Could look for a play on Raven, but he's fairly close to the tower, so not really the target to go for. And SMG have to really start looking for some angles here. They are starting Roshan slowly but surely.
Moon's kind of keeping them distracted in this top lane. Fu now going to show up. Like you said, Roshan has begun, and well, with the Iron Shells, it won't take too long with that added DPS. Fnatic, they might have a bit of an inkling that this is happening, though, as they get some wards down, but still won't see inside the Roshan pit. Down nearby, Death, no, he knows. He'll go for the Rolling Thunder. Immediate surge out from KB. They're going to see the HP pull of the Roshan, but they're not going to catch anyone with that Rolling Thunder. Now SMG, they might want to try and force the fight, and they'll get a nice chains out. They've got DJ on the Enchantress. Finger out with the Infest will be enough. Without the Rolling Thunder, Fnatic, they won't be able to fight this Roshan. They're going to have to let it go down the way of SMG.
Yeah, it's a pretty big objective to give out. At the same time, it's Roche number 1. So at least you're not giving out cheese, you're not giving out an Ag Shard. And I think it just gives you a little bit more breathing room to give out the first Roche compared to Roche 2. I think that was Roche number 2, you'd see Fnatic actually throw their bodies for it to actually just prevent that from coming out. And that should give SMG some more to play with. They drag back that 3k lead down to just 1k, 1 to 2k, and they can look for the angles. Now, issue is Roche took long enough, and that the big spells are back up and running. Doom is back up, Eclipse is back up, Rolling Thunder not too far off. So I'm not really sure if SMG will want to actually look to be aggressive with that Aegis up, because the best Fnatic will do with that is just ignore the Aegis carrier, Doom up someone else, and just kind of look for the numbers advantage once more.
Oh, nice information here from Fu. Impel is there. Nobody's jumping in to try and help out Jabs, and Jabs just going to die. Death, he'll blink forward with the Rolling Thunder, and they will at least be able to find a trade in the position 1s, or rather 4s. Fu, though, he's still alive, and now KP's going to come in. They're going to surge back the other way. Death, Rolling Thunder about to wear off. He needs to find a way out, but it looks like it is not going to work. They will punish, finding a 2-for-0 trade, and now Remnant forward. Moon, he wants to go for a bit more. Nobody around to quite catch out. SMG, still, the aggression is paying off. And Fnatic, they've just got to keep biding their time.
Yeah, they just have to have faith in Raven, faith in Chuwen to kind of carry them through with the Doom usage, with the right-click damage that your Luna can bounce around as the game goes on. This is SMG's strong point. 20 to 35, maybe 40 minutes is when this lineup really excels. And they are playing around that well. They're pushing in that bot tier 2. Mid 1's just very hard to kill off. He is saving up for the Scotty next on the Lifestealer. So more stats to come out, even more obnoxious slows with the right clicks if you just let him twack away. And that could make it a bit painful here for Fnatic to keep the chase up down the line. Despite that, though, Fnatic, they still maintain the 2k lead. That might just be boiling down to Chuwen, of course, with the Devour and the double and the Midas on hand. So, speaking
of Chuwen, Fu gets in with the Impel. He does have DJ to try and help him out. But SMG, they're moving their way in. Moon, KP, they are slowly coming in. And DJ might be the only target they could really hope to go for. Vacuum is going to reach Fu. He does have the Impel. The chains, they won't actually land to DJ. Oh no, not now that mid one's here. There's not really much of a chance of him getting out. The slow is just way too high for mid one. That's going to get him one step closer now to that Eye of Skadi on the lifesteal.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's very close. The least thing Fnatic does do is take out that mid tier 1 Raven. Is he trying to bait with his illusions?
I'm not 100% sure. They're going to know it's the real one from the back end. Fu gonna be fine as now mid one's rushing in. Raven, he's gonna BKB TP away. Meanwhile on the backside, Rogi has been caught, but now they've got Chuwen. That's a big target to catch out, and there's no help coming. Chuwen's gonna be left to die as SMG. Another great trade. They've still got the Aegis up. They've even got a siege creep. It might be time for that mid tier 2 tower.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower.
they're just gonna get that push in. They've got a lot of protection, still a minute and a half on that Aegis. So a ton of time here to get that work done. Fnatic, that was an interesting play from Raven, but the moment they figured it out, they just got a free Luna illusion, just ran them down. They can hold high ground though, and on the respawn they will have Doom up, so they can still force this fight out.
It seems like it's just going to be all about waiting out that Aegis timing there on mid one. But SMG, naturally understanding this, are going to back off before that Doom is back up. As long as they control the map, they're more than happy with the way this game's going.
Dire's bottom tower
It's mid one.
is under
He's just
attack.
1,000 gold away from that Ive Skadi now. Still, a bit of a group up here from Fnatic. They might go for an immediate smoke out with Chuen. No, they choose not to. They'll sit back. They'll just farm the mid wave. That is gonna buy the time for mid one though. Who'll have the Ive Skadi up next team fight. Maybe he won't have the Aegis, but that Ive Skadi gonna make him a lot tankier and a lot more of a nuisance to try and deal with.
Yeah.
They do see him in that mid lane. They're staring him down right now, John Chuen. No, they're not gonna go in. They'll leave him be.
Yeah, I think they understand with that Aegis, it complicates things. They can't just get the Doom off and hope to find that full kill. They have to be a bit more patient here on Fnatic. And they are inching towards a power spike. Crystallis being lined up here on Raven into the Shard. She's going to have safe damage to deal out. And they get a smoke play now. Aegis expires. This is really good timing.
It is. Mid one. The main target. They'll get the Doom off immediately with the lift up. And now the Rolling Thunder in from death with the Eclipse from Raven.
Radiant's bottom
They land everything perfectly. And John, would you believe it? It's based off the great vision there from Fnatic.
Yeah, they just had a ward up right there, giving them that information on hand. They get a good jump in. And again, it's that patience. They knew the timer. They knew the Roche timer. This is why in your pubs, kids, when you play your pub games, ping the timer, copy paste it, and just make sure you know.
Oh, let's spike out Chuen. He's going to BKB up and try to force a fight. Moon still has one remnant available, so he should be okay to get out. Fu now going to try and turn this one around with the Impale out, and they have it. Chuen, he'll get a tip immediately out from mid one. Get that Iron Shell. Just having that added damage you need with Fu to really get the kill.
Yeah, you can't really overextend there for Chuen. Good punishment coming out from SMG, knowing that once the BKB fades, Doom without Doom is not that scary. And they managed to get the kill, balance us out, losing at mid one here. Fnatic, for their part, I think they're kind of okay. I mean, you're not happy about it, but you are buying Raven that space. So Crystallis is done, and the Ag Shard's flying out. You even have the Paladin Sword here for Raven for that added damage and lifesteal. So he's feeling good. He can actually stand. They can hold high ground forever, spamming that Lucent Beam, getting the attacks off. And he even finds a lot of the tier 4 items here for his team as well. And Quickening Charm going to be very nice on... I guess the Rubik could be really good with it. The Doom, if you're really worried about that Doom. And it does go onto Chuen. Still, they're playing under vision here on SMG's end.
They're going to realize it very soon. Death thought about the Rolling Thunder. No Eclipse up. Could be a bit of a risky team fight, especially considering they do have the Vac wall. And now the Observer ward does get pinged out. Roger, he'll move in and take it out immediately. Fnatic, they won't be able to capitalize off that ward any longer.
I'm dead.
I've got to say, by the way, John Jabs has had a very lucky time. He's got the Psychic Headband going for himself in that Rubik. Very, very happy man. He's got amazing cast range. They're going to move in, though. Big smoke up. Who do they get? It's going to be an illusion. DJ, he's still alright. Mid one. He'll get to work on that Lunar Illusion, but that's going to be about his now. Fu. Aeon Disc has been procced. They know they can go for this kill. And there's your Rolling Thunder in from Death. You turn immediately back towards the Nyx. They'll take him down. It's SMG. They don't want to borrow this. They'll back out without their Nyx.
Radiant's middle tower is under
And I say that they are going to move back into the Radiant jungle, but I don't think they're going to be looking for a team fight.
Yeah, it's an interesting take. Both sides playing a lot more cautious. SMG, I mean, they're not ahead in that for it, but they are playing against Doom Luna. The fact that Fnatic don't have a wider lead is actually more of a cause of concern here. Another smoke play out from Fnatic. They held onto the Doom. They held onto Eclipse, so they could look for a big play.
Oh, Remnant back the other way. Moon, he's going to know. He won't survive. The lift is there in time. Jabs, he gets him to the back wall. KP, he gets 5 heroes in it. But can they capitalize? Doom is out. Mid one, he's been caught. The damage is going to start flying in, and now the Eclipse is there as well. He's going to try and run, but there's no way out. Nobody can help him. Onto KP. It looked like he was going to be the savior, but not quite. A great vac wall, but they just didn't have the follow-up. They're committing the buybacks, but for what?
No.
How do you come back in this team fight? They're going to lose Moon on the Ember. Afu, he will try to run. More buybacks being committed, but who are you going to kill? They do kill off jabs, but is it worth their time? Moon, he has one remnant left. They'll enchant him up. He needs a way out of this. He just fought back. He'll remnant back towards the left, but no, he's on the high ground.
Oh.
He didn't get to the low ground, Moon, no.
Oh my god.
Boy, and the tips immediately coming out
Oh
from
my
Fnatic.
god.
I'm dead.
Oh, it's the classic remnant mistake. You hate to see it. And an absolute disaster for SMG.
Oh man, it looked good, right? Like Moon initially managed to juke out a lot of spells. We saw that gigantic vac wall coming out from KP. And then the fight split into two parts. Moon was cut off from the rest of the team. They managed to doom up mid 1, so their only other big impactful core at that point was taken out of the fight. They did not have the burst damage to deal with Raven. It looks like this Paladin Sword's just enough lifesteal for him to get max value with the Lucent Beam spam, with his Moonglaives, with his damage coming through, and that it does just line up, and that puts SMG in a very awkward spot. They don't have buybacks on a lot of heroes. They're going to have to really fight for this next Roshan, and it is not too far off, about half a minute. So when the Rosh is up, that will still line up with the spells of Fnatic. Doom is going to be up by then, Eclipse is not too far off, Death finds a double damage rune, which is great, you know, right before the Roshan. Unfortunately, it's not going to the Luna. And I have to say, Death, his Rolling Thunders there really secured him that fight. Like, it was split into two areas, but he got the control off on his part really well. And it just managed to give them enough time to get the damage off. And SMG, they needed more follow-up to the vac wall. They only had one stun fly out. They needed the follow-up impale. They needed to really get the damage flying in that window. And it just didn't fly out quick enough. Now Roshan, again, SMG can't afford to give this out. But without Ember, it doesn't feel like a fight they'd really want to take.
They've got a refresher orb up on KP now, and they might have just enough time for Moon to come back in. But it does look like even if they knew, they aren't going to commit. Scan is out from Fnatic just in case, but nothing will come of it. So Raven, second Roshan, Shards up, Aegis up, Cheese up. And it looks like they are going to give the Shards over to Jabs. And you actually mentioned this in the drafting phase as well, right? Like the Shards are actually quite underutilized on the Rubik, but it is very powerful.
Radiant's middle tower
It's
is under
completely
attack.
busted as a saving spell. You can toss them literally half the screen back and just take away a lot of that initiation in the fight. So I think this is going to catch SMG off guard in terms of save, in terms of actually tossing people closer to you as well. And I think that is going to give Fnatic more angles to approach this game. 10k lead now for Fnatic, 25-20 at the 34-minute mark. SMG, and they're still trying to build up mid 1 going into the Basher.
Is under attack.
It feels like they need a Linken's on at least one hero. Just Linken's up mid 1 to block that spell use. And that should buy you one team fight and apply enough pressure that Fnatic's not going to be as instantaneous on that Doom usage and kind of hold back a bit. They do hit this item spike on Moon. Ags is up on our Ember. They are smoked up. Tier 2's gone, but they could look for the wraparound play.
Well, they certainly could. They need a good team fight to go their way. Raven, not an easy target with that Aegis up. Impel off the mark there from Afu to get started. And now KP's going to jump in. Vac, no, it's not on the cliff. He tried. He'll still get the wall down. Refresh orb is there as well. He's got another wall vacuum. Meanwhile, mid 1 though. He's onto the Luna. Raven in trouble. Going to pop the BKB. Going to try and fight back with the Satanic. And he is surviving. They can't burst him down. Afu, he's going to drop. There's your Doom out. They've got mid 1, but he'll be surged away. They'll try to go for a reset. This Fnatic now, they will back. Chuen, finger out. They've got the Hex as well. They might just have the damage. Not a bad trade here for SMG. So it is ending up to be a 2-for-1. Of course, you do commit the buyback on Afu, but that's not going to be too big of a deal here for SMG.
Yeah, overall, it still pays off. They managed to slow down any sort of high ground push with these two heroes dead. Really good result there for SMG. Buyback in the Nyx, not the biggest deal. The bigger thing is that you don't have the double wall, double vac for a minute 40. So there's a window there where KP's not going to have that surprise factor anymore, not have that huge amount of control and setup for his team. And the side of Fnatic might be able to realize that. Like, once the respawns are up, they still have that window to play with. They could just wait out, though. Like, the Daedalus is almost done on Raven. Once he has that, the damage flying through is just going to be sickening. It's the Luna timing, of course. Our Doom is not going to be up on the respawn of Chuwen, but it shouldn't be too far off, and have to still be slightly careful in your positioning on SMG's part. Like, there is a ton of damage starting to fly out from Raven here.
Yeah, not to mention he's about to have that full Daedalus up, and well, once that Daedalus is there, you know how much damage is going to fly out through these lucent beams with that shards. SMG probably don't want to wait this out too long. They'll try to continue applying pressure, but there's your Daedalus now available on Raven. He doesn't have buyback gold, so we shouldn't really see a quick smoke out. They will reveal it on the creep wave now. SMG, they'll have to bide their time. You can even see Arfu. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter on that Nyx Assassin. Very kind of defensive item to have, but a very impactful item as well. Raven, see Arfu, Lucent Beam. Not going to connect through the Vendetta. Let the Nyx Assassin walk out. Still an 8k net worth advantage for Fnatic is going to make it rather tough for SMG. Mid one, he is going for that big nullifier pickup now, though, so that might change things around back the other way. So it will make it a lot more difficult for Raven to be able to use all these big items he's bought up. We'll have to wait and see about that one.
And I think it's still an issue for mid one because he is the Doom target. They've been very happy on Fnatic's end to actually just allow Moon to zip around and just focus on the Lifestealer, ensure he's not a factor in these fights. If the Doom still flies out before the Nullifier is used, then it's not really going to have that much impact. We'll have to see if SMG starts to change their approach, get their own initiation up, so they can actually use these items they've bought out.
They're going to scout out a couple in that triangle. Hex is there. They have got Chuwen. That's the target they want. Finger, Vacuum, it's all enough. They've got the Doom down. And now they can force the fight. Moon, he's barely going to escape. No! No, he remnanted back in. Raven, he'll still try to man fight. He's going to drop. They've got the Aegis. That's the first life down. Jabs, he'll take the remnants for himself now, just zipping across the map. Raven, he'll get the Eclipse off of mid one. He's man fighting. They'll go after KP instead. Rogi's down. Raven still going after mid one, but Arfu's here. Can they take him down in time? Raven, no, he gets a Satanic. He's got the life still, but mid one, he's just going to work. He has enough. He might just drop, and they get him. DJ, with the impetus shots, does have enough as there's 4 heroes down without buyback. SMG, they've only got KP, and he bought back as well. He's trapped between a rock and a hard place, and Jabs, he's going to find it, but now Jabs is trapped. DJ, he'll make the space. KP, no, the enchant is there. They will get the final piece of the puzzle. And DJ, he gets the tips out from Chuwen. Sometimes all you need to just do is let the pos 5 enchantress keep hitting people.
Oh my god, yeah, and that's where some of those early kills for DJ start to snowball here, right? Like, it's the butterfly effect. He got those early kills, he managed to build up because of that. He's got the Treads, Solar Crest, Hood of Defiance. With a Solar Crest, he actually hits pretty damn hard. And with the Holy Lock It Up, he heals for a good amount as well. So, an insane back and forth from Fnatic and SMG. Fnatic do win out. They lose their 2 big cores in exchange. So, unfortunately, they can't get off a big push with all of these deaths, but they still win out. You know, they're preventing SMG from bouncing back in this game. They managed to get decent Aegis use out from Raven. He didn't actually get to pop a Satanic a second time. He used it in his first life. On a respawn, it was like 7 seconds off before it was off cooldown, and if he did manage to get that, he could have just lived through. Still, you know, you take what you can get. SMG will have to reapproach these fights just a bit differently. You're inching towards, in fact, you're not inching towards it. You've got the refresh on Chuwen. So you've got double Doom on hand, and that just makes it easier for Chuwen to actually find his targets. He does have to be a bit quicker in the BKB. He has been getting caught out first without casting Doom a couple of these fights. So really good initiative from SMG to lock that big target first. And with the Ags up now as well on Afu, it should be easier to defend a little bit.
Nice Hex out. Chains from Moon with the BKB. They want Chuwen dead, but he's going to be fine as Rogi's the one to drop. And now Moon needs to remnant out immediately. Death still in the chase. He's not going to be able to keep up. Afu's there just in case with the Aghanim Scepter on this Nyx Assassin. We'll go straight into the burrow. They're down without their Lion for now. And now Jabs, he's jumped in. They've got Afu. They have the damage. Aeon Disc, they're going to be procced. Vacuum Wall is there. Double Vacuum Wall has been dropped by KP, but it's not enough. They only got Jabs down. Raven, though, he's dying to the illusions. He's not dead yet, though. Doom is there. Chuen gonna keep chasing down Moon. Death, he's going real deep for this, but he has put himself in a bit of an awkward scenario. He still has the cheese up. He should be able to survive. Mid one shouldn't be able to keep up, but the rage is there with the nullifier. Maybe they can. Death will still try to run. And again, cheese is still available. The roll up will stun up Moon once. Another swash away. He'll eat the cheese now, but they got the Yule Scepter, and they will end up getting this Pangolier down eventually. Yeah, those illusions. At first, they didn't look like too much, but the double the wall, the double the vacuum, it was just too much. Raven, he couldn't stand there and fight.
Yeah, they need to really protect Raven, ensure that he doesn't get caught out like that. Maybe now need to start shifting their attention towards that Darkseer, towards KP. He's probably the target that's really giving SMG these opportunities in the fight. And SMG, they're holding on. The defender tier 2, they're starting to hunt a bit. Afu, he's got the Vend up under a sentry though.
Well, DJ and Raven try and catch something out. Afu not going to be in range for the impulse, so he won't even bother trying to throw it out. So they're going to try and force buybacks here mid one into the mid tier 3 tower. We'll force the glyph out. Vacuum is great though. KP into the double impel, but Chuen is there with the Shivers Guard. No Doom being thrown out as he doesn't have it. In fact, they've still got Afu. Infest is out to try and help, but it's not enough. Mid one has been enchanted. Look at DJ with the impetus shots. He's even got the leveler up now. Letting go of the Grove Bow. He wants the added attack speed. And I'll tell you what, if he's allowed to stand there and just throw these out, he's going to be doing a remarkable amount of damage. They respect it. They will back out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stalemate. Like, either side can win these team fights. It's transitioning to the high ground. That's the big challenge for both sides. Now, the next Roshan might alleviate that, but looks like Fnatic aren't going to wait. They smoke up. They want to catch these heroes out.
They haven't got Doom up yet, though, John. 15 seconds away for that Doom. DJ, he's going to run right in. Rogi, Hex is there. They've got Death. That's a massive target, but can they take him down? Not quite. He's going to be all right. The Rolling Thunder now. He's going to fly out. They'll try and turn a nice blink forward. They have got mid one. That's the Life Stealer. Impel there as well. Can they lock him down enough? They can. The Doom is out from Chuen. Vacuum Wall is just not going to do enough. They've lost mid one. Another Vacuum, but the blink forward from Chuen and Death just finds out KP. And now the refresh. Chuen, he wants another Doom out onto Moon. They won't be able to get him. A 3-for-0 trade, however. And Roshan, it's up in 15 seconds. If they can just be a little bit patient here with Death, they should be able to secure it. No contest here from SMG.
Yeah, unfortunately, Death gets a bit impatient, so he's not going to see the exact respawn, but they're set up to take it. They've got the Enchantress creep coming in. SMG, no buyback on the Lifestealer, no buyback on the Darkseer. So it's straight into the pit, and they should be able to take it out. They do have a regen on hand, very helpful for Chuen. Afu's trying to scout out. They could still be sneaky here with the Ember and Nyx. They will risk throwing their lives out, and this should just end up being a freebie here for the side of Fnatic. Free Ag's Blessing out as well. Wondering who gets priority for that. Like, there's still some utility for it here on Raven if they want it, but they hand it to Jabs. There you go.
Okay. And that Ags on the Rubik is always nice with that really low cooldown and the added cast range to spell steal. It's kind of ridiculous how far he can steal spells from now. On a 2-second cooldown, when you're against a Darkseer, a Nyx Assassin, a Lion, you want everything. And now Jabs can practically have it. However, mid lane, they've caught out Chuen. Massive kill, but there's your warping drop. Rogi, he's going to die.
Oh my God.
And there you go, John. Jabs, he just steals so many spells as now Death is there with the Rolling Thunder. Afu trying to hold back Jabs. Death, he does get them stuck. He will still move in. Moon is going to be in a spot of danger, but he'll get the BKB off in time. Remnants forward. Jabs just all over the place. Does kill off Afu, but mid one. He's going to get to work. Now with the high ground defense, he can just man fight against Raven. Another wall to be dropped. Raven going to go for the Eclipse, but the Illusions is just doing way too much damage. He will try to heal up with the Satanic, and he will be able to a little bit, but the Satanic is worn off now. Moon He's still trying to back. Remnant, not far enough. He didn't go too long. He's been muted up now by Chuen, and they do get the kill. Mid one, it's him against the wall again. Still the buybacks are there. Fu, he does drop to Raven. Death is there with the Rolling Thunder. He'll try to get mid one on the Nakes. Can he get him? The lift there from Chabs, trying to get him forward, and they do get there in time. Mid one, he's been stunned up 2, 3 times perhaps. They'll get him. Raven is there with the damage. The rage is not going to be enough. They've got him. Raven with the triple kill. And I love the synergy, John. Jabs, he lifts off Death with the shards lift. Brings him closer to mid one. So we can connect the roll. It's just fabulous.
You know what else is really good? I didn't notice it in the last fight, but in this most recent fight, DJ, what he does to stop those replicate illusions from being big, he enchants them. So suddenly you have 2 big Lunas hitting. It just hurts that much more for SMG's end. It's not, they can't overcome it. Like, there's just too much. DJ holds on to enchant to steal one of those replicants, and then the damage output's just insane. High ground's opened up now. 3-man defense for SMG. Wall, double wall in about 20 seconds. So they do have an angle to take here. They've got a lot of damage coming through as well with Moon if they get the setup. But these towers, these objectives just melt when you're up against a Luna.
Oh, that they do. They might have time for Megas here. I mean, without mid one, for 35 seconds. Back wall is down. They've got a double of that. Moon going to jump in as well. Chuen does have that Doom back up. KP, spot of danger. Is still going to be fine, but no death. He's after that. Dark's here. He's got the stuns out. KP, he is going to drop. He'll buy back, but nobody's dead here from Fnatic. All of them are fine. So everyone backs off and waits for the reset. Back in after Moon. They've got the main target. They've got the Dooms out, and they'll kill him off. No buyback. He is down for 2 minutes. They've got mid one in 3 seconds, but what does it matter? It's a 3v5 scenario here from SMG. They've got to try. T4s are going down rather quick. Mid one, he's going to run in. Impel is there. Nullifier as well, but he's still got the Aegis. Raven, he will try to fight. He will lose his first life. DJ, meanwhile, getting to work onto KP. Chuen moving forward. He wants mid one. Now the Rolling Thunder. It's there. KP, he's died back. Eclipse is out. Fu, he'll try to survive through it, but that's it. They've dropped. GG is called, and SMG, they are going to be kicked out of the Loopet Pro Series in 3rd place, and Fnatic, they will be able to move back into the grand final after a 2-0 victory here in this lower bracket final. And what a game it was.
Man, that was a bloodbath between both sides. Fnatic, SMG. We knew SMG had something to prove, but Fnatic also had that same thing to prove. You know, as you said at the start, it's a battle to see who's right. And this time around, it does look like Fnatic was on point. They managed to get these big win condition heroes for Raven. They managed to get Chuen heroes that he can really play quickly with. Like, it did take a little bit more time in this game with the Doom to build up. But eventually, once he had the Blink Midas up, he was willing to run in. They always isolated mid one. We talked about the Doom targets being the Ember primarily to prevent him from zipping around. But they understand that they had enough control coming out to actually handle the Ember. And they prioritize just taking out that big tanky frontliner who can kind of trade the damage with Luna. So mid one just being taken out of the fights caused massive issues for SMG, and as the game scaled on, it's a Doom and Luna. They farm a lot quicker than the Lifestealer. The Ember can keep up. It never quite happened because Moon was forced to play faster, and in the end, Fnatic just managed to overwhelm. Great plays from SMG though. Like, those vac walls from KP were huge. The damage from those replicants was amazing, but down the line, DJ just remembered, oh right, I can take those for myself. Great, more Lunas.
Yeah, I got to give props to Jabs though as well. 2 games in a row with the Rubik, and he was just making plays all over the map. I think Fnatic just looking very, very strong going into this grand final. Of course, we've got to give props to SMG as well, John. I realize they've been knocked down in 3rd place, but you consider where they were just at the earlier stages of the group stage. It does seem like this team is really coming together now. The coordination just really up. Everyone's playing very well. 3rd place, nothing to be embarrassed about either. And I mean, you know, you've got to be proud if you're SMG. I look forward to seeing them in the next tournament coming up.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they perform down the line. Of course, before we go to a short break into going into the grand finals, we've got to give a shout out to our sponsors. LootBet, the title sponsor for the LootBet Pro Series 7, 100% bonus on deposit for new users, up to 200 euros or 10,000 pesos with the code PRO. Click on the loot.bet banner below or visit bts.gg/lootbet to start getting in on the action. And of course, through Mate Mate. Thanks to our sponsor, Mate Mate. A natural energy drink is caffeine reimagined. Try Mate Mate today and get more day, more night. Get your Mate Mate by clicking on the banner below with the discount code BTSDota. If you buy your Mate Mate there at bts.gg/Mate Mate with that code BTSDota, you are up for a lot of raffles and prizes to win out for our fans here. Up to 3 Secret Lab Dota chairs, and 1 Aftershock Gaming PC, a Razer keyboard and mouse. Winners will be announced on the August 23rd for that, so make sure you join in early. And it's free international shipping. It's a 15% discount on all purchases using that code BTSDota. And today is the day, my friends.
It's the day.
It is giveaway day.
Uh-oh.
So you've got 10 minutes after I say this to type in chat, annoy your mods, !Mate Mate. You get to win a case of Mate Mate. It will be shipped out to you. Make sure your whispers are open. !Mate Mate in chat. And good luck to all of you to win a case of this lovely beverage, Mike. Mwah. Very good.
Thank you very much. I'll let you know that that kiss you just did wasn't on camera. I had to bring up the...
Was the early one there? Was
the early one
there?
was there, Jonathan. Well
Thank
done.
you.
You're proud of yourself? You're happy? Well done, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And do join the giveaway. This is the last giveaway. I mean, this is the last day. I might even sneak my way in as well, John. You know, I want myself a free case of Mate Mate as well. Apart from that, Jonathan, we are going to have a rather long break. It does seem like we're going to have a 30-minute, maybe more than 30-minute break here between now and the grand final. We'll try to keep the timer as up-to-date as possible to give you guys the correct information. But we are obviously going to have to give Fnatic a bit of a break. They just came out of a 2-0 victory. You know, they can't just jump into a grand final 5 minutes later. You know, so we're going to give them roughly 30, 35 minutes. Hopefully, maybe they'll be ready earlier. You never know. And before that, Jonathan, you promised me a couple weeks ago that you and I would have matching shirts because your lovely mother went out and bought you some shirts that would match mine. I've been wearing my floral shirts all day, every day. And you continue to come in. You brought the toothpaste shirt out. You brought the checkered shirts out. You got the polos out. But where's the shirt your mother bought you, Jonathan? What happened? It's grand finals day, and we look lackluster, Jonathan. What's going on?
Who says it's not coming out for the grand finals, Mike? You're impatient. It's coming out. All right? Calm down. We've got enough time. A bit of a wardrobe change, but yeah, it will be there, Mike. Don't worry.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. I will hold you to that before we do get into the grand final. Till then, though, again, going to be a rather long break. Just check the timer on the screen, bottom right corner. Otherwise, it is MLP Dota and johnxfire, and we'll be back as soon as possible for Game 1 of our grand final between GXR and, of course, Fnatic.